is Eva Speaks Again, the 4 stages of recovery following narcissistic abuse. Before I will jump into this topic, thank you all very much for subscribing to my channel so that you will be notified when the new video will come. So the first stage is to remove them entirely from your life. Narcissists in general have no trouble ending a relationship on their terms. However, if you decide to terminate the relationship, expect a spectacular ending. When faced with rejection, narcissists, like everyone else, endure emotional pain. What differentiates them is how they deal with the emotional pain of rejection. To put it another way, they will do everything they can to keep you from leaving. To frighten or persuade you to change your mind, they may use false promises, gaslighting, or even threats. It's entirely up to you whether to go or stay. If you stay, the very, very bad and nasty ending will come. Set firm and obvious boundaries if you decide to give them another chance. The second stage is to process your pain. Healing from narcissistic abuse occurs when you choose to handle your emotional anguish in healthy ways. But it's often easier said than done. When dealing with a breakup, we frequently resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms simply because they are inexpensive and easily accessible. We bury painful experiences rather than integrate them when we avoid feeling our sensations and resort to maladaptive self-soothing behaviors. My advice for dealing with emotional anguish is to practice self-reflection. Think about all the times you've let yourself be manipulated. Is there anything you would do differently now? Were there any red indicators that you ignored? Practice meditation and mindfulness. Different meditation approaches can aid in the processing of traumatic experiences. Such practices, from basic breathing exercises to mindfulness techniques, might help you cope with the unpleasant feelings connected with breakups. And also begin with journaling. Putting your emotions into words can be very helpful. Writing helps you to express yourself, track your progress, and cultivate insight. It makes no difference how you journal, as long as you have a clear aim and make writing a habit. The third stage is to improve your self-esteem. Given that narcissists gain power by deception and intimidation, it's no wonder if your self-esteem has plummeted after leaving an emotionally abusive relationship. But before we get into specific steps you may take to boost your self-esteem, let me lay the groundwork for this continuing process. Focus on both the intellect and the body when developing self-esteem. To put it another way, if you want to feel well emotionally, you must also feel good physically. To summarize, if you want to boost your self-esteem, prioritize how you eat, how you sleep, and how you exercise. Once your body is in better form, here are some suggestions for increasing your self-esteem. Overcome your worries and limitations. Courage, they say, is not the absence of fear, but rather the recognition that something else is more important than fear. So, if you are frightened of flying, public speaking, or expressing your opinion on something, Now is the moment to push yourself. Overcoming fear or self-imposed limitations increases your self-confidence and self-esteem. Develop a hobby. Seek out activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. If you've ever wanted to write poetry or a book, play an instrument, learn a language, ride a horse, now is the time. The sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that comes from participating in a hobby is guaranteed to increase your self-esteem. Reinvent yourself. Update your wardrobe, get a new haircut, and invest in high-quality skincare products. Anything that promotes a positive attitude will naturally boost your self-esteem. Remember that self-esteem is something you develop over time and with persistent work. The fourth stage I would like to mention is to discover how to establish healthy boundaries. During my training as a coach, I discovered that narcissists frequently disregard or overstep your limits. It's the only way to safeguard oneself against their deception and intimidation tactics. Setting firm limits, on the other hand, isn't always simple, especially when the person you are dealing with is someone you love and care about. There is one thing you should keep in mind regarding the whole issue. With this in mind, I would like to encourage you to put yourself first. Before you set healthy limits, you must first put yourself first. The desire to set clear limits will almost automatically flow after you realize exactly what's healthy for you and which ones you should prioritize. Be forceful, understand and honor your values, desires, needs, and aspirations by refusing to compromise them only to make someone else happy. Assertiveness is defined as the ability to express oneself confidently, to speak one's opinion in a respectful and non-aggressive manner, yet without defending one's position. Be explicit about your boundaries. In an ideal world, everyone would be aware of how their actions affect others. However, because you don't live in a perfect environment, individuals will continuously and often unwittingly push over your boundaries. In other words, it's your job to create clear boundaries and communicate when they've been crossed. Thank you very much for listening of today's topic about the 4 stages of recovery following narcissistic abuse. Thank you very much once more for listening, and if you like my videos, please do share, like and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified when the new video will come. Have a nice weekend, and I will speak to you next week. Bye bye.